Well, welcome back everyone. Mariah Monetize here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update on the recent information that I have found out regarding Celsius. First things first, I actually predicted this yesterday that there was a possibility that they would cancel their AMA today. And indeed, they have canceled their AMA, which always goes down every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I personally made the prediction that there was a possibility that they were going to cancel this AMA because of the communication that we have already seen with Celsius. Okay, when we think about Alex, a very loud personality on Twitter, always responding about all things Celsius, basically silent, giving us zero substance on us not being able to withdraw our funds. And then also very little and poor communication from Celsius as well. And they came out with that really pointless Q&A that answered essentially no questions. So in today's video, I'm going to be kind of just talking a little bit more about that. Getting your money back on Celsius. So actually there's a possibility that you could be one of the first people to get your funds back on Celsius. I came across this on Twitter and it's a possibility. I'm not for sure how legit it is, but I'm presenting you with this information. You can go ahead, do your due diligence, and see if it's something that you want to do. We're also going to go over the Cel token and how the price was recently affected, as we know that there is a huge short position when it comes to the Celsius coin on FTX, and how there are some people in the Celsius community trying to start a short squeeze. Going to also talk about Three Arrows and them having a position in Celsius and how this could affect things. Going to be telling you guys how you could be secure, storing your crypto securely using a tool that I've been using for years now, at least 4 to 5 years I've been using a Ledger Nano. So going to be kind of just going over that with you guys today and giving you some more details on exactly how to self-custody your Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So like I said, the AMA was canceled. So on Twitter, it actually came up that it was going to go live in, like, I saw 16 minutes until it goes live. And then shortly after that, it was canceled. I saw someone on Twitter say that the CEO had announced that it was canceled. Not sure where he announced that because it wasn't announced on Twitter. They usually stream it on Twitter as well as YouTube. Everything was canceled with not much information. Hopefully we hear something from Celsius by the end of the day. But if they went ahead and canceled the AMA, they're still just going to give us a message with very little substance if they give us anything today, which is unfortunate. And you think about communication, for example, from like BlockFi, and what we recently heard from Zach, who I believe is, I think he's the CEO of BlockFi, Zach Prince. And so this, in my opinion, is not really a good sign. I mean, I know that I'm sure Celsius is working behind the scenes trying to make sure everyone gets their funds back. But the fact that they are not giving us even a little bit of clarity and answers is pretty frightening in my opinion. So, JBrowder1, if you want to go ahead and look at this post in details, I saw this yesterday. If you have under 10 to 25,000 with Celsius Network, or any crypto exchange that has frozen your funds, here is a step-by-step guide on how to get your money back ahead of everyone else using the law. As of right now, these exchanges have not yet filed for bankruptcy protection. Therefore, they are subject to small claims court judgments. Small claims court cases typically take 1 to 2 months. As long as this drags on longer than that, this strategy will work. To file a small claims lawsuit, the first step is to send a demand letter. The demand letter should say, 1, how much you are owed, and 2, why you think you are owed the money. For Celsius specifically, you should mail it. Return receipt requested. He gives the address there. After 10 days, when they are inevitably don't respond, you can file a small claims court lawsuit in your local jurisdiction. Do Not Pay can handle the demand letter and filing for you. Or you can go to your local website. For example, he gave the link for the San Francisco one. Now, many lawyers will hate on me and say that it's in their terms of service. They can freeze your funds. But if Celsius Network does not respond, you actually win by default. They're so busy that they aren't going to send an executive to Denver, for example, just for your case. They have bigger problems to worry about: prison, FTC, class actions, etc. And the judge might still feel sorry for you based on the facts, even if they do show up. After you win your case with a judgment, surely they don't have the money, right? How can you actually get paid, well, then you have a court judgment. You can go to every bank, every office, even their website domain, and collect your judgment with a collection letter. You can force every bank that holds their money to send you what you're owed. To collect, file a collection order with your state small claims court or use do not pay. The more quickly you do this, the higher the chance you will get your money. Once Celsius files for bankruptcy, the lawsuits and collection orders won't work. Until then, this is fair game. I myself will not be doing that. Someone mentioned by doing this, you're applying pressure to everyone's funds locked up. Sounds like you're part of the attack. But this is what's going to end up unfolding. So we're already seeing it, right? We're at a point in time where you have people on two sides, right? People that have been using Celsius. You have a lot of people on Twitter who are saying everything's going to be fine. They're trying to get this rally going to get this short squeeze when it comes to the Cell token on FTX. And then you have people that are more realistic. And every time that I've been in a investment that has gone wrong, it happens in that way. And so this guy's talking about attacking the CEO, Alex, in this case. And in other cases, you know, it was the guy that took a group of 15 of us, our money. And I was like, this is totally a scam. There's so many red flags. This is so obvious, while other people continue to have faith and trust. And it's part of the denial process. You will see a ton of denial. You might personally be in denial right now of what's happening with Celsius. So I'm just pointing this out because you will see this time and time again. So I saw that. This could help some of you. I'm personally not going to do it. You may want to speak to a lawyer before you start the entire process. But I know there's some of you that have under 10K in your account, and it could be an option for you. So next on the list here is let's check out the Cell token. So there was actually some correlation here between the Cell token and the AMA being canceled. So I don't know exactly what time they canceled the AMA, but this right here is the 1 o'clock candle. And since then, the Cell token is down 7%. So I don't know if there's a possibility that it was announced like maybe 10 to 15 minutes before, and that actually started the decline. So it actually has impacted the price of the token. People are getting really excited. They thought the short squeeze was going to start once Celsius hit about 64 cents. And since then, it is now down to 54 cents. How does that compare to the Bitcoin minute chart? Let's go ahead and take a look here. Well, Bitcoin has fallen a little bit since that same period of time. I wouldn't say the Bitcoin's price had really anything to do with it, but you could see here, this is the 1 o'clock candle. Bitcoin went up and then came back a little bit, but there's no 7% decline. From that top right there, down less than 1%. So Celsius coin, heavily impacted from that AMA being canceled. So now we're hearing about Three Arrows Capital, which is a hedge fund, which is in some deep trouble. And we know that they had a position with Celsius. Okay, so that's something to take into consideration. So here's an example of when a company is in good shape and their CEO is actually open and honest about exactly what is happening. So this is Zach Prince, who, let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure he is CEO of BlockFi, yes. BlockFi's risk management practices and systems allow us to act decisively to mitigate risk in accordance with our contracts. These actions may include margin calls and asset liquidations when appropriate. BlockFi can confirm that we exercised our best business judgment recently with a large client that failed to meet its obligations on an over-collateralized margin loan. We fully accelerated the loan and fully liquidated or hedged all the associated collateral. No client funds were impacted. We believe we were one of the first to take action with this counterparty. Well, did Celsius take action in an appropriate amount of time? If they did, why didn't they come out and say it? BlockFi sure came out and said it rather quickly. So he goes into BlockFi and their risk management, all of that stuff. So I'll even say myself, I was getting frustrated with BlockFi. They kept on reducing the yields on Bitcoin and other coins. But what can we say? They have not frozen withdrawals, and we know that they got out of this big position. So before I let you guys go, I want to mention to you Ledger, which is a company that basically has a product that you can use to securely store your Bitcoins. You can take them off of exchanges, off of lending platforms. You have full custody of your coins. So basically they have a variety here of different products. So it kind of depends. For example, I would recommend getting, probably the cheapest one if you don't have a ton of coins. But the more coins you have, the probably more updated, not updated, but the more advanced ledger you want to get. So this is a Nano S Plus. It's $86. So basically what happens is you can actually connect it to your computer. It looks like a USB drive. And so what's going to happen is to access your funds, you have to have access to the USB drive. And when you set it up, you're going to get a 24-word password. And you want to keep both of those safe and separate from each other. And what's going to happen is if something ever happens to that device, you can actually just buy another one. And so those 24 words are basically your private keys to keep your funds safe. So if you don't want the risk of holding your coins on an exchange, on a lending platform, getting a ledger is the way to go. You can also look into paper wallets. That's another option. But I myself use a ledger, so it is a product that I definitely like and use. So you could see here, they also have a Ledger Nano X, and that one's a little bit more mobile friendly. So just depending on what your needs are, those are basically your options there. And then this can tell you, once you kind of compare the two, like if you just have Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think the basic one is probably enough for you. But if you have a lot of coins, and a more advanced product is probably going to suit you better. So I have a link down below if you want to get yourself a Ledger Nano. Like I said, it's a product that I have been using for years, and it's pretty simple, easy to use. The interface is great. They now, I have a live version. So yeah, a product that I've been using for a long time. And it's just you could sleep peacefully at night knowing that your funds are not subject to any of these exchanges. So that is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.